ওকে, শুনতে পাচ্ছো? দর্শী আর রাফিও শুনতে পাচ্ছো?
জি স্যার। Yes, sir.
যেটা হচ্ছে যে তোমার আমরা এলসিএম তো পারি, রাইট? আমরা এলসিএম করতে পারি, রাইট? আই মিন এই যে normally finding
জি
the
স্যার।
else, and we know actually that once we're told to find out the LCM, the M stands for multiple. I mean the number is definitely will be completely divisible by the given numbers, right? That's ultimate perspective, and that will be a common multiple and will be the least one. The least one, uh, uh, the least one. Hold on, মানে একটু তুমি ওকে না। সো আলটিমেটলি এখানে আমরা সেকেন্ড যে কোশ্চেনটা, এই কোশ্চেনটা নিয়ে একটু কথা বলি। এই কোশ্চেনের সলিউশন জানো তোমরা? এই কোশ্চেন করতে পারো? এটা আনসার করতে পারো? হ্যালো,
জি স্যার।
কিভাবে করে এটা?
Yes, sir. Sir, পারি।
যেমন আমাকে ক্যান গিভ মি এনি আইডিয়া? বলেন।
So if we multiply the HCF and LCM of two numbers, then the product will be the same as the product of those numbers.
I mean, assuming that I do understand, but how to prove it? I mean, is there any standard procedure do you have? I mean, how to prove that
We can just show them by doing the multiplication.
of any two numbers?
Yes.
I mean, we take 12 and 18. So we do know that the HCF of 12 and 18 is 6, and LCM is 36, right? And if you multiply the 6 and 36, you're gonna get 216. And if you multiply 12 and 18, we're gonna get 216, right? So in that case, we can say that HCF and LCM of two number, the product of the HCF and LCM will be equal to the product of the numbers. এটাই কি proof?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Okay, but how can you ensure that that if it is true for 12 and 18, it will be proof, it will be true for any pairs of numbers? How can you so ensure?
Sir, it is not equal for all of the numbers. I did a different number, like suppose 15 and 20. For the like LCM multiplied by the HCF of those both numbers came to 100. But the multiplication of 15 and 20 is not 200. It's more than 200.
No, the product of 15 and 20 is 300, right? The
Yes, sir.
product of two numbers is 300, is the product, right? And
Yes.
if you find the HCF is 5, but the LCM is 60, and if you multiply the HCF and LCM, we're gonna get 300. So we also can say that it's true for 15 and 20, right?
It's true, not true. It's true, but 60 is not the LCM of 20. It's actually 40. And here the
No, no, no,
question
no,
said,
no, 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 not the LCM. I'm telling that 50, 60 is the LCM of you. You told me
15 and 20. It is the LCM of 15 and 20.
you told that you have two numbers like 15 and 20, and in that case, this is not true. That was your statement, right? Am I correct?
yes, sir.
Okay, so but for 15 and 20, the HCF is 15, right? Is 5, right? And the
Yes, sir.
LCM is definitely
Sir, it
60.
will only happen if we take any prime numbers. So the multiplication will not be the same.
No. For prime numbers, suppose 3 and 5.
Oh no, it will be the same. I'm sorry.
The HCF is actually 1, right?
It will be the same.
And the LCM is 15. Is true for all the numbers
Yes.
possible, all the possible integers or something like that, in the whole in the reality. Can I ask message and name? It is actually true for any number, but how can we, if we are told to prove it, once we are told that prove that, then how can we just pick any two numbers and say, okay, since this is true for 12 and 18, so it is the truth? Can you say that? Actually, no, we cannot actually, because I'm telling you one thing that uh, suppose if I take any right triangle, and you can make infinitive shapes of it, right? Infinitive shapes of it. You can make infinitive different, you can draw infinitive different types of right triangle, but in all triangle, for all the triangles, no, the one angle is 90-degree, and the other two, the sum of other two is 90-degree, since we have a law that the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180-degree. If we don't have this theory, then we cannot actually build another one, right? So this is also depend, this theory is also, this is also a theory for any two numbers, not more than two, or not for other numbers, any two numbers. This is also true, but we just cannot we can actually make an experiment in a proof না বলে কোশ্চেনে বলা উচিত ছিল যে do the experiment, and prove and ensure that if the it is a law that the product of two numbers is equal to the product of the HCF and LCM of the numbers, of the both numbers. So আমাদের এক্সপেরিমেন্ট বলতে পারতো, বাট প্রুফ বললে আসলে পুরা প্রুফটা লিখতে হয়, সো এখানে আসলে কথাটা একটু ভুল হয়ে গেছে, রাইট? And for class 6, proving these is actually really difficult. Proving this one is really difficult, but still we have scopes while we are going to learn actually the ratio. We have a chapter right there where we have ratio, unitary method, and percentage. Once we're going to learn ratio, so we're going to learn if we have two numbers, 12 and 18, so the ratio is going to be if 2 is to 3, right? And in that case, we have an option that we can assume two number, 2x and 3x, and this 2x and 3x is actually can be any number, or can be any number that is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3, right? Or we can prove it by 5x or 7x or anything, but এটা আমাদের রেশিও পড়ার পরে আমরা প্রুফ করতে পারবো। ওকে, রাইট নাও যে প্রুফটা তোমাদের কাছে আছে আপাতত এটা চলো, বাট ইটস নট দ্য কারেক্ট প্রুফ ফর দিস ম্যাথ, বুঝতে পারছি? আমি এই জন্যই আলোচনাটা করলাম যে we need to go for something else. আমরা পরের ম্যাথটাই যাই। হ্যাঁ, আমি এই জন্য ইস্যুটা আনলাম যে you just cannot say, মানে ম্যাথমেটিক্সের যে কোনো বিষয়টা কেমন যে if you say it is a law, it is a theory, then you have to give any process, any proof, so that that will prove that it is true for any numbers, right? Otherwise you have to give the limit that this law is only feasible for odd numbers, only feasible for even numbers, or something like that. Okay, so আমরা পরের ম্যাথটার জন্য যাই। What is the minimum number of students that can be arranged in groups of 3, 4, 6, and 8 so that no one is left out, right? So what do we have to do? একটু একটু ইয়ে থাকো তো, একটু না একটু লাইন থাকো তোমরা, পারো এটা? হ্যালো। Hello.
Yes, sir.
তোমরা দুজন নাই?
Sir, আসছি।
Okay. Now, what is the minimum number of students that can be arranged in groups 3, 4, 6, and 8? Rafi or Doshi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
what are we supposed to do actually? We'll have to find out actually the LCM, right?
Yes, sir.
But why? Since the word minimum is here, that's why.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I
But if
didn't get the question.
no, my question is that in most cases, while I ask student actually, do you know how to solve it? So they say yes. We have to find out the LCM. So my question is, how you determine that you have to find out the LCM of the for the math?
So the minimum word if the word
Sir, I
minimum is
didn't get the
Okay.
mathematical question. I mean, why has it, I mean, what has it asked for?
Oh, in this question or in my question?
Miss, sorry, in this question, like the mathematical
It is
one.
asking for the number of students that can be arranged in 3, 4, or 6, or in 18 groups. Right.
Okay.
So we can actually write down the same question by omitting this word. Even we can write down here maximum and put other text in order to mean the same way, right? But one thing is very important actually. So you just don't fix with these words. You have to think in a way that the number of students will be, suppose less the number of students is 12. So if you make a group 12 or something like not 12, so maybe 24. If we make a group of 3, then we're gonna get 8 groups. If it is 4, it is going to be 6 group, right? Hmm? If we divide them in a group of 3 students, how many groups we are going to get?
8.
Groups. If we divide them in groups of 4 students, how many group we can actually form?
6.
Right? 6, right? So the fact is that the number of students is a number which should be the multiple of 3, 4, or 6, or 8, right? Acha,
Yes,
just hold. Okay. In that case, we have to find out a number which is actually multiple for them. And we have to look for that in a question, whether the question is asking us for the multiple, or if it is H.C.F, then it is factor, right? Okay,
yes.
just hold for another 1 minute. I have a visitor from Dhaka. I just say bye. Okay, I had a visitor from Dhaka suddenly. Okay, তোমার ব্যাপারটা বুঝতে পারছি যে আসলে in
Yes.
this case, we have to understand whether the number we are asked that will be the multiple for the number or the factor for the number. And if it is a multiple, then we must have to find out the LCM, right?
Yes.
Look for this sort of word because in cases you will not find the word minimum or maximum or something like that, greater or smaller or smallest. You're not going to get this sort of words. বুঝতে পারছি? So আমরা এটার সলিউশন লিখলে কি লিখবো? আমরা বলবো যে আমরা লিখবো যে so the number of students, so the number of students will be equal to the LCM of 3, 4, 6, and 8. Now find the LCM.
So 24.
3 and 4, right?
So the LCM will be 24.
Right, the LCM will be 24, right? 1, 3, 2, and 3, 1, 1, 1, and 2. Therefore, the LCM, the required LCM will be 24, right? 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2, right? So the number of students will be 24. That will be last number of actually that will be the last number. October যে next we have another question that okay. There are two type of bus service that starts from রাফি তো বোধহয় লাস্ট চ্যাপ্টার যেটা মানে এলসিএম এইচসিএফ এর চ্যাপ্টার কি তোমার স্কুলে করিয়েছে বা তুমি করেছো এর আগে?
জি স্যার, আমার করে ফেলেছে। এখন আমাদের ফ্র্যাকশন চ্যাপ্টার শুরু করেছে।
সম্পূর্ণ চ্যাপ্টার করানো শেষ। এই ম্যাথটা পারো তুমি? এই ম্যাথটা জানো?
জি স্যার।
Okay, so what is the answer for this math actually?
স্যার এটা তো আমার মেইন ম্যাথসটা আমার হচ্ছে সিডব্লিউ কপিতে, স্যার তাই আমি হচ্ছে একটু এই খাতায় একটু কুইকলি করে।
Okay, fine. We'll check this sort of things. Hold on. Okay. Suppose this is so আমি এটাকে একটু কালার চেঞ্জ করে নিই। Okay, suppose আমরা জানলাম এটা হচ্ছে 15 minutes interval, right? এটা হচ্ছে
ইয়েস।
minutes interval আর এটা হচ্ছে 20 minutes interval, right?
ইয়েস।
So in 1 hour, from 8 to 9, if it is 8 a.m. to this point is 9 a.m. right? This is 1 hour. So 1 hour actually 60 minutes, right?
Yes.
NUTES. Okay, MINE. Okay. Now if they start at 8 o'clock together, they will again start at 9 o'clock, right? Now, how to find out this one, right? So first of all, we need to find out actually that as we are told that how many times do the first and second type of bus leave at the same time between 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Right. So if we want to write down the solution for this math, then we have to say 8 a.m. We can write down in this way: 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. is equal to 3 hours, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Or we can say we also can write down in this way: 11 minus 8 hours is equal to 3 hours. And at the end of this, we can write down that 3 multiplied by 60 minutes. So we can write down 180 minutes, right? Now, this is actually, we are converting this total time duration in minutes because of the duration or the interval of the buses to leave the station is in minute unit, right? So now we have to find out that in what interval they usually leaves the place at the same time. So we can write on again that the interval in which the buses will leave at the same time will be equal to the LCM of 15 and 20, right? As we have find out that this is the 60 minutes. We do know actually the LCM of 15 and 20 is 60, as because we can see in this image that they will meet here and in the same length after 1 hour, or in 60 minutes length, or in 60 meters length, if it is about length or something like that. But now since you're talking about time, so it is minute, right? So now if you find out actually 15, 20, so 3 times 5, oh, not 3 times, 5 times, right? 5 times 3 and 4. Therefore the LCM is equal to 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4, which is actually 60, right? So in 60 minutes, actually in every 60 minutes, they will leave the place. They will leave the place at the same time. So in 3 hours, they will leave the place 3 times, right? Or 4 times. What will be the answer actually?
Sir, 3 times or 2 times? Um,
Okay, let's see. Therefore, from
Sir,
8
I think Sir, I think
to
2 times because yeah, it said between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. So that means 11 a.m. They won't. They will go. They will go leave together, but it won't count because it said between, not from.
then how to say actually how to say that form statement? How can we say that actually? How many times do the first and second bus type of bus leave at the same time between 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on a given day? As they starts 2 a.m. there are two types of, there is a confusion in the market, right? Because of the confusion for the question is that there are two types of bus in a local bus service that starts from 8 a.m. So will we count that 8 a.m. or not? That's the big question. If we don't count 8 a.m. or 11 a.m., and in that case, we cannot say that from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. we had 108 minutes, 80 minutes. We have to say 178 minutes, right? Right?
Yes, sir, maybe. I don't know. That's 120.
Okay, check your school answers, but let's write down like this. From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., the buses is because usually if we talk in the way as it tells that it starts from 8 a.m., as it's in the first sentence is telling that actually. So I think we don't have that opportunity to think in the way, because we have to count that one also at the same time, right? That's the thing. That's the other thing. And we are suffering in our board books. We are suffering due to language. From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., the buses will leave at the same time. We live at the same time. 180 division 60 plus 1 times. Right? Why
Yes.
that one? Okay, I'm discussing it. If we just think of that, okay. So now it is 3 plus 1. So it is 4 times. And at the same time, you're also correct that it can be 2 times. If we think about between, the same time between, right? But that will be something that we're not going, we have to write down a description, an essay, not like traditional math, okay? So there is a linguistic problem, I think, actually. But if we are, however it is, if we are told that from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Okay. However, the next one is actually, however, in this week, actually, we are not. You check. দর্শি তোমার কি অবস্থা? আর তোমাদের স্কুলে করাইছে এটা ম্যাথ?
না স্যার করেন।
ওকে, আচ্ছা আমি এটা নিয়ে জিজ্ঞেস করি। হলেন স্যার, এই বাসের ম্যাথটা গাইড বইগুলো কত আনসার দেয়? 4 না 2? মানে বাংলা বইয়ের মধ্যে যেটা হয়, ওকে আমি বাংলা বইটা একটু চেক করি। বলুন, 8টা থেকে 11টায়, হ্যাঁ, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য প্রবলেম। 4 বার না, 4 বার দেওয়া, 4 times is added, right? 3 plus 1 আর কি। এখন 3 plus 1 এর ব্যাপারটা বুঝতে পারছি। 3 plus 1 কেন? হ্যালো, আমরা কেন
Yes, sir.
অ্যাড করি? ইউজুয়ালি হচ্ছে তোমার, আমরা যখন স্ট্রেট সাবট্রাক্ট করি তখন হচ্ছে রেজাল্ট হচ্ছে 3, রাইট? বাট দ্যার ইজ এ বাট। তোমরা তোমার যে রেঞ্জ বের করছো না ক্লাস 5 এ, যখন তোমার ইনফরমেশন নেট চ্যাপ্টারটা পড়ছো, তখন কি করতেছে? 1 অ্যাড করতে হয়, ঠিক না? ম্যাক্সিমাম আর মিনিমাম এর ডিফারেন্স 1 অ্যাড করতে হয়। লাইক যেমন এখানে ঘটনাটা কি ঘটছে? at 8 o'clock তারা একসাথে ছেড়ে গেছে, 9 o'clock ছেড়ে গেছে, 10 o'clock ছেড়ে গেছে, 11 o'clock ছেড়ে গেছে, রাইট? সো যদি আমরা বিটুইন শব্দটাকে গুরুত্ব দেই, তাহলে তোমার আনসার হচ্ছে যে এই দুটো, রাইট? বাট তোমার হচ্ছে ইন অল কেসেস আসলে দেখা যায় যে বাংলা বইটা দেখলে দেখা যায় যে কোশ্চেনটার আনসার হয় 4টাই। হ্যাঁ, সো যে ইংলিশে এই প্রবলেমটা হচ্ছে তোমার লিঙ্গুইস্টিক একটা প্রবলেম থেকে যায়, বুঝতে পারছি?
স্যার ইংলিশ বইগুলোতে অনেক সময় হচ্ছে ইংলিশ বা ইংলিশ নাম্বার বদলে বাংলা নাম্বার দিয়ে রাখে। আমাদের হচ্ছে
আরো
ইংলিশ
আরো
ভার্সন
অনেকগুলা
থেকে
আরো
কয়েকটা
অনেকগুলা
টাইপ
প্রবলেম আছে। আর অনেকগুলা প্রবলেম হচ্ছে তোমার ওই যে গুগল ট্রান্সলেটিং আছে, হ্যাঁ, যেটাতে অনেক ভুলভাল ট্রান্সলেশন করে এবং তখন বেশি মুশকিলটা হয়। হ্যাঁ, এটা হচ্ছে প্রবলেম। আবার আমরা একটা সার্টেন স্ট্যান্ডার্ড
দিয়ে কখনো অনেক সময় বেশিরভাগ সময় কখনো অ্যাকিউরেট অ্যান্সার দেয় না গুগল ট্রান্সলেট।
accurate answer মানে কি, মানে it is not yet that smart to translate all kinds of language we use in everyday life, because language is really the main part of our intelligence. What we learn in our everyday life while we grow up from our childhood actually is the in every day we learn a more complex formation of language because of the complexity we do study in our everyday life, and we learn the complexity of the language at the same time, right? So the once we grow up, our brain learns more complex language due to the our experience through more complex experience, I mean events, or more complex scenarios, right? So that's why
স্যার
জি,
আমি কি এখন লিভ নিতে পারবো? আমার একটা ইমার্জেন্সি কোচিং আছে।
already we have তোমাদের সিলেবাস দিয়ে দিবে, আমরা ওর মধ্যেই কোশ্চেনটা করবো। হ্যাঁ, ওকে
ওকে স্যার।
ওকে,
স্যার আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
দোষী, খুদা হাফেজ।